next on the line is Alan in Maryland. Go ahead, Alan. You're on the air.
Good afternoon there, Paul. That's some fine work you're doing over there at InfoWars. Now I'm going to make 3 points, and I'm going to make it very clear and make it quick. Bill Gates and Warren Buffett are up to their necks in this stuff. They're trying to clear out Africa. We know that America is being dissolved in a vat of political acid, and China has been moving into Africa for years. So this is a way to get them, basically startled, stop their progress, etc. Bill Gates said the other night that this is not going to be the last epidemic. Bill Gates is up to his neck in this. We've been attacking vaccines now for, 5 years? Alex has been doing it for forever, and we know full well we put a huge dent in their money machine. I'll tell you something, folks. What we're looking at here is a false flag. The CDC lost smallpox, a truckload of smallpox, so they had to cover that up with Ebola. Now, Ebola is not going to affect us the way it does in Africa because we have fresh water, fresh food, vitamin C, vitamins, and especially we have Alex Jones and all his products and Dr. Group. But I want people to be on board here. The gentleman mentioned the October surprise. We've heard Robert Tosh Plumley talk about false flags. You listen to these people speak. You look at their writings. Pay attention to silent weapons for quiet wars for silent weapons. When they tell you that superbugs are coming and they're here, you better believe they are not going to lose the money. Rockefeller, you've got Kissinger all over the place. You've got Brzezinski out there blabbing his mouth. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how they roll. And I tweeted, what bioweapon are they going to release on us next 3 months ago? And within 30 days, we had Ebola, and there you have it.
Well, it's interesting because actually Louis Farrakhan, of all people, came out today and cited Dick Cheney's Rebuilding America's Defenses document, where he said that, germ warfare, biowarfare would improve to the point where it could target individual races. Obviously, I don't think that's the case with Ebola because we've had a lot of American health workers that have been infected with it that have come back, but definitely that's something that they had in the offing. In terms of Africa, as he said, China's got huge investment in that country. They're trying to absorb it into the BRICS financial structure that is destined to take on America. And that's the case. In Africa, there's a lot of rallying back between America and China. China has investments in Africa which dwarf those of America. We had these troops sent in by Obama recently to deal with the Ebola outbreak. A lot of questions being asked about what good troops would do in such a situation. And again, a lot of information should suggest that it could have been an undercover attempt to subvert, to infiltrate Africa in the guise of fighting Ebola, when in reality it was a geopolitical move against China. So we'll get into that and more after the break. David Knight's coming up in studio next. It's the Alex Jones Show Live. Stay tuned. We're back, second hour of the Alex Jones Show Live. I'm Paul Joseph Watson, filling in for Alex. Going to be joined by David Knight in a second. First, though, let's go to this clip out of Atlanta, which had been reported. Doctor dons Ebola protection suit to protest CDC. He's calling the CDC liars for their handling of this Ebola situation. Testing against the CDC at Atlanta airport. As I mentioned earlier, a CNN news crew who came back from Liberia basically told the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol that they had been in Liberia in close quarters with people infected with Ebola. They were reporting on the situation. Basically, Border Patrol were not interested. They did nothing. They asked no questions. They took no tests. This was a couple of days before the outbreak. And as this doctor said, the CDC said it was an infinitesimal probability that the United States would see a case of this. Now it's arrived. So we've got anger protests against the CDC. David Knight joins us in studio for the latest on what the CDC is saying about the Ebola outbreak in Africa. David, what's the latest?
Well, now, Paul, they're saying that it's going to possibly reach anywhere from 500,000 to 1.5 million cases in West Africa by January. That's just 3-4 months away. That is a huge number if you look at the population, because that's just two countries where it's the worst right now, Sierra Leone and Liberia. Those two countries have a combined population of only about 10 million people. So you're looking at a very high percentage. You're looking at about 5 to 20% of the population the CDC is projecting is going to come down with Ebola by January in those West African countries. And so that really kind of puts all this that we've been hearing from Rick Perry and the CDC about how, don't worry, we have a wonderful medical infrastructure here compared to West Africa. Yes, we do. We also have a much larger population. We do not have infinite resources to handle anything. So what happens when you start to get a massive exponential increase in cases and you don't have the hospital staff, you don't have the capacity to deal with this? Because right now, it is still growing exponentially. We've got some other figures. We're going to break down those figures in detail coming from the CDC. We've also got some other information that I think people would like to know in some other areas. We've got Californians are now going to be able to get their relatives disarmed with a new law that's been passed in California. The U.S. government has relaxed the standards on killing civilians with drones in areas that are supposedly affected by ISIS. So we have some interest. And also there's another story out of Hong Kong as that's building to a conflict. There's a story out of the Wall Street Journal talking about how there's a Christian subtext to this protest, besides the heavy-handedness of China saying that they're going to pick who the candidates are.
And we'll be back with that and more. We've also got Lionel from Lionel Media coming up in the third hour to discuss a host of subjects. More on Ebola coming up, more of your calls. David Knight in studio. This is the Alex Jones Show Live, Infowars.com. Keep it locked in.
The globalist social engineers are not just targeting us with propaganda. They are manipulating our genetics. We are being targeted at every level by estrogen mimickers that lower our testosterone and other hormones and natural compounds that the body needs. After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO organic super male vitality formula sourced from powerful organic herbs and then concentrated for maximum potency. Super Male Vitality was developed to activate your body's own natural processes instead of using synthetic chemicals. Super Male Vitality by InfoWars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose. For a limited time, we are offering 15% off Super Male Vitality at InfoWarsLife.com to introduce you to this powerful supplement. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality. InfoWarsLife.com.
We're back on the Alex Jones Show Live, Thursday, October 2nd edition. Here's an article out of WorldNet Daily. We're going to talk about Obama, or President Ebola, as Michael Savage is calling him. Ebola has now entered the U.S. because of President Obama's open borders policy, charged talk radio host Michael Savage. Referring to the commander-in-chief as President Ebola, Savage said on his nationally syndicated show Wednesday, the quote, only solution is zero travel in and out of West Africa for any American. You let nobody in from a country where you have a raging epidemic, he said, emphasizing microbes do not discriminate. You isolate, you quarantine an entire nation if necessary. That's what Michael Savage is saying. We also
He's an epidemiologist, isn't he, Paul?
That's right, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right, doctorate in epidemiology. So that's what he's saying.
You are watching the best of the Alex Jones Show, weekdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central. Watch live at Infowars.com/show or become a member of InfoWarsNews.com and help us take resistance to the next level.